I assure you, this is a true story. We all heard the legend warning not to go near the old chapel. It wasn't even on the hospital directory. You had to take a service elevator to the basement, past the abandoned morgue, then follow a narrow hallway behind the boiler room. At the very end was a door with no sign, just chipped green paint and a handle polished by decades of hands. Beyond the door lay a staircase spiraled down into the dark, deeper than the hospital should go, and at the bottom, carved into the foundation itself, was the forgotten chapel, abandoned and waiting. And I found it open. The hallway leading down was so cold, colder than the rest of the hospital. I shivered madly in the silence. It was the kind of silence that isn't empty, but rather was watching me. I have absolutely no idea what made me go down there. Maybe I was just curious. Maybe it was the voice I heard on the baby monitor in my son's room the night before, soft, whispering, "You better come pray." I don't think that chapel had seen daylight in decades. The stained glass windows, long boarded up, let no light in. Dust hung in the air like ash, and the wooden pews, those caught my eye. They weren't just old, they were decaying. Their wood had split in places, dry and splintered like bones left in the sun. Carvings of angels were barely visible, their faces worn smooth as if weeping had eroded them. The crucifix above the altar hung just the slightest bit crooked, as if something had tried to wrench it free. But someone had been there recently. I could just sense it. The air smelled a little like lavender oil and mildew. A chair was pulled into the aisle, and beside it, on the stone floor, was some kind of prayer mat, I think. It looked warm and used. I felt it before I saw her. I heard the slow scrape of heavy cloth dragging slowly across the stone floor. Then a tap, 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 like beads hitting a wooden bench. Then she stepped from the shadows. Sister Lamenta. She looked exactly like the portrait in the historical wing. Her starched wimple near her weathered face, black eyes that did not blink. But she was so still, she almost seemed remembered, not alive. She raised one hand slowly, as if blessing me, and I could not move. My body locked in place, my breath caught in my throat. I wanted to scream, I wanted to run, but all I could do was watch as she stepped closer. I don't think she opened her mouth, but I heard her speak. "You do not belong here. Not yet. Return to your son." She lifted her hand again, and suddenly I was back in the hallway, gasping, kneeling in front of that chapel door. No sign of her remained, just dust and deafening silence. I won't go back. But at night, while my son sleeps in his hospital crib, when no staff is near, I hear footsteps in the hallway, not hurried, not lost, just walking, perhaps returning to the chapel, to pray for my dying son.